Yo, you got the Cultural Currency Podcast back in the building. Yeah, I'm your host, Joe Pro 973.
Yeah, I'm Swiss Language, the co-host. You already know what it is.
Absolutely, and we have a very special guest. I know I say that a lot, but yo,
They all special.
They all special, baby, and they all giving us that cultural currency.
That's right.
So today, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land all over the world, we have an R&B singer, man. He's one of them ones. Yes, that's
Bringing
right.
it back.
Bringing it back. The brother Terrance H is in the building, and today we're going to get into a little bit of his journey, all of the things that he has working on, and all of the information that he could present. With that being said, let me shut my trap and introduce the homie. Terrance, what's up, big bro? How you, man?
What's going on, man? It's a pleasure to be here.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. How you feeling today?
I'm good.
We gonna get right into it, man. We talking about bringing this R&B thing back, but let us know where some of your journey started from. Where you from? Now, I mean, couple points on it you want to touch on.
Well, basically, I'm from Middlesex County in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brunswick area?
Yeah.
I'm from there, that area.
Yeah, I know. I always say I was in that county too.
Yo, shout out to my bros down there, man. I got some real good dudes down that way,
Middlesex
too.
County, born in New Brunswick, raised through Highland Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty rough coming up in that area, man. New Brunswick, man. I got a couple of dudes I was down in the building with, man. Shout out to Blackheart. Shout out to my boy Big Brody. Yeah, it's some real
Pop
heavy
off
hitters
down there.
Yeah, it's some real heavy hitters in that area,
Ain't
man.
just know it, huh? All right, going up in that area, coming up, what was your first signs of this music thing that you got into?
Well, the first signs of music is let me go back to when my mother took me to Madison Square Gardens to see the Jackson
Okay.
5.
Oh, wow, that had to be special.
Yeah, I
Madison
went to go
Square.
it's Jackson 5. And I used to watch the Jackson 5 cartoons on Saturdays during Soul Train.
Everybody all right? Yeah. Just bumps and bruises is all.
Me too.
What about you, Michael? You okay?
Are you kidding, man? I landed on my head, didn't I? Ain't nothing can hurt this head of mine.
Yeah.
And I used to rehearse and practice their steps. And back then, it was more in the fashion too, because they had the outfits that their moms had made. But my mother had me dressed up like she had me a knicker outfit with the hat, the poncho, the knicker shorts. So she had me blazing.
Yeah, so you was
Hold on.
dressed to impress.
Because I want to ask, though, you said you was learning the dance moves from the Jackson 5 cartoon?
From the cartoon.
From the cartoon.
From the cartoon.
That's how inspirational they were. You learning the dance move from a cartoon.
From the cartoon, that's right.
Nah,
But they had them doing all of the actual authentic steps too, though. So if
right.
you're watching it, you know what I mean?
So I was at Madison Square Garden. My mother had tickets. We was in the 4th row. So when they came on stage, I got up and I started doing everything they was doing on stage, doing all the steps, everything. So the Madison Square Garden crowd was clapping for me.
Yeah.
It was like, look at that little kid, even the Jackson 5. They was like, look at him.
Yeah.
So you was
I
4
on
years
that
old
aisle.
getting your first standing ovation?
Oh man, listen, I wasn't shy. I just got out there and I was doing my thing. So I remember when I was time to go to the bathroom, and that line was long all the way down the hall.
Absolutely, I can
So
only imagine.
My mother brought me out there, and I'm in line, and they saw me in line, and they turned around. They told my mother, "Bring him up here." Because like now you can't be cutting no lines for nothing.
Exactly.
But they was like, bring him up here. So they let me come all the way up in the front. I went in the bathroom and came out. So then, just growing up and looking at different artists and listening to different sounds, like the Stylistics, Blue Magic, Earth, Wind and Fire,
Right.
the Spinners, the Temptations, Marvin Gaye, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Cameo. When they came up with Why Have I Lost You?
Right.
Heat Wave, Dramatics. So I grew up listening to that.
And so as you was listening to that, not to cut you off, were you kind of like emulating like those vocal harmonies and stuff?
trying to.
You was trying to?
At that time in my life, I was trying to, because I was a young boy, trying to, like, how did he do that? How did he do this?
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, we was on Pop Warner,
Okay.
All right.
and we would go pick him up for Pop Warner, and to get to the practice field, you had to go by his house. His sister was dating this guy, so we was in
Okay.
6th grade. This guy was probably a senior in New Brunswick High School, named Kevin Hicks, senior. He was in this group called Black Passion, and that's when they used to have Week of the People, and they would go to different parks in different counties, and they would perform with live bands back then. And I heard this voice, and I thought it was the radio. I was like, "Who's that?" So he came outside singing. I was like, "Whoa!" I was blown away.
Yeah.
I'm in the 6th grade. I'm like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it's a guy you knew, you saying.
I
He was
didn't know
dating you and-
I met him because he was dating
Right.
my friend's sister.
Older sister, yeah.
Right. And he's from Memorial Parkway, from the projects back then.
Okay.
So I said, wow, so every day, everybody wanted to be O.J. Simpson back then, But I was like trying to be up under him. I was like, and asking him questions like, how you get your voice like that? So he was like, practice. Just practice. And, looking back then, I was practicing, but it made sense in this era now where I'm at. But that's when WNJR used to come on.
Yeah.
And they used to play all the slow jams. And I would
Exactly.
be trying to sing everything.
And
Not
every
hitting the
tone,
notes,
right.
everything. I'm flat notes, everything. But I was doing it while everybody else was trying to go to the basketball court being Dr. J. I was trying to be like Kevin Hicks senior. I wanted to have that falsetto.
Right.
Okay.
So was it just a passion, or you wanted to impress the ladies? Like, what was the reason why you wanted to pick it up? He was a ladies' man.
No, it was the passion, because I wanted to sing,
Right.
but hearing it come from him, it was like, I want to be like him.
It was
Okay.
cool. He made it cool.
Inspiration.
Right. Okay.
He gave me that inspiration. So as we're coming up, we're going to house parties. So you're hearing all these songs, Silly Love Song, Why Have I Lost You, and Always Forever. So practice.
So you mentioned the falsetto. So how was you doing on that Always and Forever? Because like towards the end of that joint, like you started ripping on that joint. So like, how was your practice for that?
When that part would come up, it'll be like, forever.
Okay. Man.
That's right.
Live for
that's
the
live
cultural
right there.
currency. That was fire.
I practiced that. Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah.
I practiced that and practiced that and practiced that.
How many times in the mirror you did that?
I know it had to be at least, you got your 1,000 hours in, because that was pretty good, bro.
Over and beyond, but
That was easy for him right there at this
so I'm
age.
like,
Yo, he put that down.
in the beginning, I was struggling like anything and everything else. But when he said practice,
That planted that seed
and
for
it's
you.
like everything that we do in life. You look at Michael Jordan; he had to practice to become the basketball player he is. Floyd Mayweather, they practice, hard work, dedication. That's his thing. So, and that's all I kept doing. Then I got around people, and I started picking their brain and listening, like Bubby Hoagland, Jaheim's uncle.
Right.
I call him a master. When I hear a Jonathan Hall says, if you're going into the studio, you need Bubby Hoagland up in there.
Yeah.
And Bub, he was like the Michael Jackson. He could put you on your note. He just phenomenal, gifted.
So can you kind of explain that, for the viewers at home that may be listening, when you say he could put you on your note, what exactly does that mean, like in studio terms or artistry terms?
Well, if you're singing out of key, he'll tell you, no, you flat, sing it like this.
Oh, okay. So
Sing
he'll
it
give you
like
that proper instruction.
Sing it like this. And he'll push you like anybody else, like a good coach, bring the best up out of you. Because you don't know what you got in you until you get somebody who knows what you can do with that gift, and he'll bring you to another level.
Yeah,
Right.
that's dope. That's dope. And so as you kind of like started going to the studio, it was a totally different era from then to now. But you were practicing and when did you realize like, okay, the fruits of my labor are starting to show? I actually am pretty good at this.
Well, he had a studio in his house. So I was going over there getting a haircut plus
Right.
listening to him because he was like the
Yo, this
R.
is the
Kelly.
one-stop shop, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, he was the R. Kelly and Aaron Hall wrapped up in one because I used to say that because he could play fluently and he could sing. So I was just watching him and I was a young guy watching him do all of this here. So then from there, throughout my journey, I started being around people who could sing, just listening to them. You take this, you take that, and you put it in your arsenal.
Right.
So what I did from there, I would be walking around singing, but like at the jobs, I was working at this warehouse, and I was singing inside this trailer while we were unloading the trucks. So we had a radio sitting up there on some pallets, and I was singing. So this guy, he walks by. He said, "Who was that singing?" So I pointed to the other guy in there. I said, "It was
You
him."
threw it off on
Yeah, I said
homeboy.
it was him. So 20 minutes later, he came back. I didn't see him. He said, "It was you." He said, "I got a sister who works at Polygram Mercury Records.
Okay.
She's an A&R." So me, I'm like,
Yeah,
stop playing.
yeah.
Thinking he just,
Yeah.
Stop playing.
as
You
the kids
gassing me
say,
up.
as the
You
kids
really
say, he's
gassing me up.
capping.
You're gassing me up. So I said, okay. So a week went by. I said, I'm gonna see if he remembers what he told me. Because if he's lying, he gonna probably forget.
And probably like say another radio
Yeah.
station or another record label.
So I asked him again. I said, "Ah," I said, "Will you say your sister work at again?" He looked me right in my face and he said, "I told you my sister work at Polygram Mercury Records." So I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm gonna bring you a card." He didn't come to work a couple of days because we were through the temp agency at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then he brought me a card, and I saw the card. So actually, I had forgot. The second day, I called up, made an appointment. She said, "I want you to come up here. My brother told me you could sing." So I'm like, "Oh, sweat." So I
Yeah.
told my mother, told my grandmother. So we went up there. So we get there, they got it on lock. Like you can't even get
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
It's like
gotta-
Fort Knox,
Definitely
huh?
need the
Yes.
appointment to get it.
Definitely. Ain't no soliciting over there. So I pressed the doorbell, came to the desk. So who are you? Terrance H. Looked in the book. Go upstairs. Now as I'm going upstairs, I'm seeing all these different artists' plaques on the
Plaques,
wall.
yeah.
So I'm looking around. So I get upstairs. Somebody else is greeting us. "Would you like some water? You want this? You want that? You want that? Have a seat. She'll be with you in a minute." 10 minutes later, called me. Came into her office, and she said, and I skipped this part. I didn't know nothing about like going to make a demo.
Right, right, right.
Oh,
You
okay.
just in there.
I made it. I had a cassette player, so I taped myself singing on the cassette.
Okay.
Right.
So
Karaoke style.
yeah, and I brung it in there, and she put it in. She said, "You have a nice voice." She said, "I want to send you somewhere." She wrote down. She said, "You're gonna go to Kool and the Gang studio, Pleasant Valley Way in West Orange."
Right.
She said, "You're gonna go see this gentleman named Rashad Muhammad." So I went over there. Went in there. It was me, my mother, my uncle. We went in there, and at that time, I didn't even know who the Fugees were because they were just recording. I met Lauryn Hill. She was coming out of one of the recording studios.
Wow.
And she
So
introduced herself to me, and I said, "Hello, how you doing?" So my focus was like, okay, I'm here. Like, what's going on? Because it's the mansion that I'm at
Right.
Kool and the Gang Studio. So I'm like, okay. So Kool comes out, introduces himself. We're talking. He's talking with my mother, my uncle, and them. So then Rashad Muhammad, I think he was not there at that time. He wasn't there, so I had to come back. So I came
Right.
back, and I met with him. So he told me he's going to be moving because he was an engineer. He said, I'm going to be moving my equipment out of here and I'm going to be doing my own thing from here.
Oh,
Right.
So he had moved over here off of South Harrison,
okay.
right? That first corner, if you come off Central, you make that left
Exactly.
over there. So I was like, wow. So he said it's going to take a minute because he had to move in, sand his floors, get the house together because he purchased the house.
Okay.
But he was putting the studio in the house.
Right.
So I was like, wow. So now I'm on a sitting game. I gotta wait.
Sitting and waiting. How
Sitting
how
and
nerve wracking was that?
It was nerve wracking because I wanted to get in while had that fire.
Yeah, that emotional energy.
Were
Exactly.
you writing songs or were you still just covering songs?
I wasn't even doing that. I knew people I could go to get a song.
Right. Okay.
So I wasn't even worrying about that. I just wanted to get in there and start recording. So I would go up there and hang out with him while he was putting it together, putting the insulation in and everything. So then at that time, when I went there, I had met Wendy Williams' husband at the time. He had came in there,
Okay.
Kevin. So a lot of people were coming there, like Howard Hewitt and all of them, Devontae from Jodeci. They were coming up in there. So I left one day. I ran into Jaheim on Central Avenue. He had just signed with KG in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because that's like family.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and
His mom is like my big sister.
that's what I was about to say. Now that you mentioned it, being from that area, so
So I ran into him. He was like, he gave me the number. He's like, hey, come up here because I'm staying at the house up here. But I saw him, so I was trying to get back to the train station, catch the 25
Right.
to get down to the train station to get back down to New Brunswick. So I kept coming up. So then I got a little frustrated, but I was younger too. So I wanted to do what I wanted to do at that particular time.
Right.
So I don't know if you guys heard of Tops Appliance store
Tops.
back in the day.
Tops the appliance store.
Yeah.
So I was in there looking for a juicer. So I'm in there doing the same thing. I'm singing, walking down the aisle. So this lady comes up. She said, "Who's that singing?" I said, "It was him."
Hey, yo, why you keep doing that though, bro? So when you, was you
I was like, "It's him."
It
So
ain't never him till they come back with the compliment.
yo, until they got something like an opportunity,
Yeah,
like
she comes back. She says, "No, it's you." She said, "Listen, my boyfriend and them, they're doing something." She said, "I'm gonna give you this number and you should give them a call because they're putting something together." So I called them up. So it happens that they had a production company called Hypnotic Entertainment. And one of the writers was from Universal Records named Doc. So they was trying to get a label together at that time. And, he played a major part because he was part of Universal. So I'm quite sure it'd probably been an extension,
Right. Or imprint
So,
at least.
right. So they were looking for artists. So I came there, son. He was like, yeah, we want you. So then after that, they were a little stagnated because they was trying to do this and trying to sit down and have meetings to get a budget, this, that, and the third. So they was like, and then I was giving them some ideas. So they was like, wait a minute. How about you be on our management team
oh wow,
/ artist?
Right.
He said, because you could be a role manager. So after that, I was like, okay.
Still be close to the business.
Right.
Still, yeah.
learn, get to travel,
Right. And I was
connections.
And I was learning. Then we went down to Atlanta. We was dealing with Jagged Edge. We was in their studio with them, just learning the business from the management side.
Okay.
So
But what did that actually entail? Because I kind of want to give, paint the picture of there's multiple opportunities in the music game. You don't necessarily have to be an artist, but so like, what did managing necessarily entail, and how do you feel like it improved your business acumen?
well, it taught me how to check everything out. Don't be a yes man, because it sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was more so like,
Yeses are expensive.
yes, they are. Come with a price. And you know the old saying, if you don't stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Yep.
and I'm not that guy. So we get flown down there by the talent agent, and I'm watching, I'm seeing, and I see how things are. They making promises to people, just like what we experience on the news. They having parties and pool parties, and people will do anything and everything just to
Just
get
to be
in.
at the party.
That's right. And I
Right.
wasn't that guy.
With the promise of maybe some future benefit, like
Right.
getting on or
Right.
doing this.
And I didn't have no bad habits, so I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't going in. I came down here for the business, and that's it. Go back to Jersey.
Yeah.
Come on back up north, do what we do. So once I learned how people moving and then meeting people like my man in New York, C's from Top of the Building Productions, who was had some dealings with Trey Songz and them.
Okay.
And me and him still cool to this day.
Right.
So actually when I did what I did with the song, I sent it to him. He was like, "Who's this, your new artist?" I was like, "That's me." He was like, "Stop playing." I said, "No, that's me." He said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yo, that's fire."
So with the song you talking about the first time,
Yes.
right? So what was some of the process of going into the song the first time? Like where was that inspiration come from? Was it a relationship personally, or maybe somebody you seen, or where did the inspiration come
It
from?
was more so like this here. After I was on one of the songs with Chops called
Right.
"Don't Make Me," right?
Okay.
Shout out
Shout
to
out to
Chops
Big
Shaving.
Chops.
I was on one of that song with "Do It All"
Right.
and Young Noble.
Okay.
Okay.
Shout out to
Rest,
them.
rest
Young
in peace to the
Noble,
brother.
who signed to Tupac, you know, the Outlaws.
Right.
So, and then there was Bubby Hoagland. So I was like, got to do some more. And it just hit me. When something hits you, you know what I mean? Like,
You
Yeah.
got to
it
act
wasn't
on it.
planned
Right.
because when you're being blessed by God, things just line up. Just line up. Come out of the clear blue, just lining up.
Yeah.
And that's what it did for me. It just lined up. So it was more so like, okay, first time you saw somebody, you know, saw this individual,
Right.
then I just wrote that down, humming in my head. And I'm like saying, okay, where could I take it from here? Because we all, whatever our gift is, like you might think of a piece of equipment that you might need for your show, or you couple of questions off the dome,
Right.
and that's how it is. An R&B singer, when you write, and it's just like a rapper, he's right off the dome. Certain situations.
And to be clear, it doesn't necessarily even have to be your life experience, but we live so much. We see people, we have friends, we look at stuff.
You draw from it.
Yeah, you draw from it. Could be a character on TV that, kind of had an issue or something that, you could
Like you
pin
said,
into that song.
create the story.
Right. So it's like you see a beautiful person. I saw a beautiful first time I saw you. I knew you were the one. So then you hurry up and you jot it down, because if you don't, you lose the lyrics, but you lose the melody.
Right.
And that's more important than losing the lyrics, because that tempo, that melody
Right.
is what's going to drive the song.
Right. So then I had bought a little recorder so I can keep that sound, keep that melody, and then you can just work off of that.
Okay.
Right.
You can work off of that.
And
Because
so-
once you lose that,
Is that a major part of your writing process? Like having an actual recorder? Because sometimes you may not be able to write the lyrics down or jot them down.
I think for the most part, a lot of people do that. Sometimes they'll go to the studio,
Right.
if they have access to it right then and there, but you have that recorder so you don't forget. And if you have a studio in your crib, you go ahead and you record there. But that came in handy for me at that particular time.
Right.
And when I done that, it was more so I called Chops and I said, listen to this. So he says, that's a hit.
Yeah.
Now, he been around music a long time.
Yeah.
That's a hit. So I said, wow. He said, you got something.
And this was just off the riff,
Off the riff.
Yeah.
Right off the riff.
So not even hearing it laid down or anything at this point.
We just
Still conceptual at this
the
moment.
beginning part. Then I would get with him. We'll finish it up a little bit here. Then a week later, a little bit there. Then we finished it up. And then, to be honest with you, we had chopped some of the song up because there was still another 2 verses that were supposed to go with that song.
And in this era, it's kind of like real microwavy, and
Well,
they like a minute and 30-second songs. So if you coming in with a 7-minute joint with the bridge and this and that, and
so that's what we were saying. Like, even when you look at the songs from Heat Wave Always Forever, you're talking about 5 and 6 minute song. That's a long song.
Yeah.
So we chopped it down to 3 minutes.
Okay.
So then we went to DML after I called Eddie. So then we put
But
the
let's
team together.
speak to that though, because you come from a generation that seems to be the forefront of the R&B as we know it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it ushered in that classic 80s and 90s sound, the stuff that you came up listening to. And they didn't have fear of conforming to what may be a sound or an outline of what's popping now. And so how do you bring that mix of having that authentically true self to you with also trying to usher in the sound of this new wave and this new era and also be kind of like accepted, amongst, what's going on out here in today's R&B scene?
Well, I grew up with that sound from the 70s, right? Then I watched the R. Kellys, the Aaron Halls, and the Jodeci's come into play. See, I watched them, and I wanted to be original. I didn't want to have that sound like Drew Hill with Jodeci. I didn't want that. Right. I didn't want that sound.
Because back then originality was really, really important.
That's why they stood out. And if you listen to the music today, everybody's singing that tenor, they got that sound, and to make a great sound, they formed a group, right? Everybody have a part.
Most of them using auto-tune as well.
Right. So I said, I don't hear nobody hitting them falsettos. Nobody. Like far as male singers.
Yeah.
Unless you in a group, and you don't really hear it then.
So it's kind of almost like a lost art.
That part of the art. Because I don't want to compete with you. I want to compete with myself.
You want to be in your own lane, so to speak.
Right. That's right. So when you hear a new song or you hear a new artist, you have to condition your ear because it's a new sound. It's a new sound.
So you, just to compare, so with the ranges, you saying the new sound, they're not using as much as the vocal range. It's
like that high, that falsetto.
They're not doing that because check it out. Your ear can be so conditioned for many years, for many decades of a certain sound that everybody's been singing. Now somebody else comes out with a different sound. The first thing people say, "Oh, he don't sound good. He can't sing." Right. That's not necessarily true. He can sing, but your ear is conditioned to one particular sound.
Right.
So that's why when you hear an orchestra, you have different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Everything blending together to make that
unique sound, right? That harmony, that melody, right? But when you hear this particular sound all your life, now here comes Swiss singing in a different note.
Right.
Oh, he don't.
It just sounds foreign.
There it is. Until you get used to it.
I heard another music producer say that one time. It's like almost verbatim, word for word, what you're saying about the conditioning of the ear.
Right.
And so that's a very interesting point.
That's a gift because anytime you can go into the studio and I can hear sound and I can put my note right there. I could put my note right there where it needs to be because of my ear. I have a good ear, right? But you have to condition that ear, You have to condition that ear so you can be able to tweak.
Okay.
Get in where you fit in.
Well, so that came good with them practices from back in the day.
Oh yeah, and listening and learning from
Yeah.
people before you. You
Right.
know, listening and learning
Yeah.
and being humble. That's how you learn with anything in life.
That's 100% true. And I guess the question that I want to know now is, you have this single and you're working this single. What are some of the steps and some of the key measures that you're actually doing to work this single? From your past as being a road manager and seeing, kind of the inner workings of the business, I believe that that would give you an intimate knowledge on what to do to try to, maximize visibility and get yourself out there. And so,
Well, first you gotta have a team because you can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
And you
say
have
that
to
again.
have
Say that again.
you can't do everything by yourself. You have to have a team. I have a good team. I have a good support team. 2026 we'll be performing, right?
So
We'll
y'all
be,
gearing up.
yeah, we gearing up. We just putting it out there, marketing. Just it's all on different major platforms from iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music. Came through
Yeah.
one of the top distributions of TuneCore. We came through
Right.
So
them.
y'all definitely doing a real rollout for this
Oh
one.
yeah, we rolling it right on out and submitted some stuff to certain people. Got some stuff out in Vegas, some stuff down in Atlanta right now.
Okay.
Got in contact with Tyler Perry's people who deal with the music for soundtracks. So
Do
submitted
some
some stuff.
scores and stuff like that going on. Right.
And then not only that, reaching out to some, people,
Your industry connects.
yeah, that we know of right now that we're gonna start giving like, I don't want to put no names out there,
Okay.
but people who got those B class movies.
Right.
We're putting stuff out there to them. We're starting to submit
Oh,
stuff.
for like soundtrack work.
Yeah, for soundtrack work because that particular song is a great song for a wedding, love story, and it's clean, no profanity in
Yeah,
there.
Right.
man.
It's a
Let's
Right.
clean
see if we can
version.
get that thing to be, because they have these classic records. What was the Run DMC with Jagged Edge? Let's Get
Right.
Married.
Right. Let's get married.
There are these classic record cookout songs and, like you
Right.
said, wedding songs, and let's see if we can
Timeless.
get that. Yeah, timeless records, man. And I think that you potentially have one of those on your hands, and we're going to try to do everything within our power to help promote you and give you
Appreciate
that
that.
booth, man. Because ever since I met you, you've been a very solid brother. We've been meaning to make this happen, and things haven't kind of aligned the way they probably should have, but things happen for a reason, and things always
Absolutely.
happen on God's time. So,
Say it again, would you please?
things always happen on God's time.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so
God don't make no mistakes, man.
absolutely,
He don't make no mistakes. That's why we here right now.
1000%.
We here right now.
All right.
Especially was thinking, son, what you got
Nah, I
going
just
on?
was thinking. I was just saying we covered because we going with the single. It's really a dope track. I listen to it. It does give me uh, a sense of timeless music. Meaning, I know it's a present song, but it puts me in a state of mind of like when I listen to maybe like a Kenny Lattimore or something like that. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So that's the era of me growing up.
Check my
R&B.
boy
You know what
out.
I'm saying?
Check my
So
boy out.
I just wanted to, what I mean, just give you the flowers of that song right there that I hear
Appreciate you,
right there.
man.
That song is, like you said, it is a good wedding song, or maybe a first time you met somebody, because that's what it's actually talking about. So,
Right.
it's definitely a dope
Absolutely.
song.
Absolutely. Kenny Lattimore. I didn't even know nothing about a Kenny Lattimore until someone handed me
Right.
a cassette song with Kenny Lattimore.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
remember this.
he was a sleeper back then. He just came up with some heavy hitters. Kenny Lattimore was a sleeper coming up in the early '90s. Right
Exactly.
there.
Well, I'm looking at both of you brothers, and I said this to you. You got something good here, And
Appreciate you.
this is how people get picked up by the big boys out there, by the big networks. And then sometimes you could be a threat to them too.
Yeah.
You could be a threat to them too.
Yeah.
And this is where politics come into play too.
Right.
Because the first thing they're saying is, he's here to take my spot. You know what I mean? He's here to take my slot.
But we just said it a few minutes ago, man.
Right.
What's for us,
It's for you.
it's going to be for us. And, we definitely believe here at Cultural Currency that, we have a spot. There's tons of media productions and companies out here. We feel like we just trying to bring something different, something to uplift. It's a lot of stuff that's out there that's, how they say, ratchet, you know what I mean? Like, we want to have fun too. We some fun loving guys too, but we just want to kind of bring that information and grow us all up together. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
Wrap that ratchetness up in the message.
yeah. Because
saying?
it's some learning and some of that ratchetness too. So I ain't gonna say I'm above the fray, but we just kind of got a different angle on things. So yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because one thing for sure, two things for certain, we have to acknowledge God. We have to acknowledge Him.
That's right.
Because that's where all our blessings come from. And
Absolutely.
it's not one day I'm not praying. It's not one day I'm thanking God for this and thanking God for that. Because without Him, it wouldn't be no me.
All right. So I know that was actually a message there right there, but I wanted to ask, so just for the listeners, what besides singing, what would be a influence or a message that you would like to give to pass the culture along for the investors we got?
What I would say right now was this here. Use all your outlets, because you don't know where your blessing is going to come from. You don't know. And don't get discouraged. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. Follow your dreams. Reach for the sky, but reach for the stars.
Right.
That's what I would say. And when you find good, wholesome people, you build relationships, because this is what life is about. You got to build relationships to keep moving further and further in life, and your name is everything out here.
Don't burn them bridges.
Your name is everything out here. Your rep is everything out here. And that's what we live by. Stand on business. Make your word your word. And if you can't do it, pick up the phone and give a courtesy call.
Yeah.
Do that. You know what I mean? I'll respect you even more, because
Right.
you reached out. When you don't reach out, then that means you're doing business shady.
Right.
And that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good for nothing or nobody out here. And that's with anything in life, man. The music business, yeah, you get up there and sing, but I understand when it says learn the business.
Right.
About doing your publishing, doing your copyrights, doing your UPC. You know what I mean? You got to have all that covered. So you know how many spins your record is playing. So you can get your money.
Right.
This man is educated in the
So nobody
field.
can't sit there and tell you, listen here, just sign right here. I'm gonna give you $100,000. I'm gonna buy you a Lamborghini and good. And
Yeah,
and
nah,
that's
we don't
that.
want that.
So every time your song is playing on the radio, that check don't go to the artist. It goes to the joker who had you signing that paperwork. You know what I mean? So yeah, your song has been nominated for a Grammy. Yeah, you might take the Grammy home, but he's getting all the perks.
Right.
Because you signed over. You signed
Yeah.
over everything. So you got to really educate yourself with the business and know your do's and don'ts. But if I was younger, could I have said this? To be honest with you, no, because you'd be so desperate to get signed.
Right.
You know what I mean? They throwing money in this, that, and the third. But now that I'm a mature, grown adult man, no, you can't come to me like that.
Absolutely.
You can't come to me sideways like that there. Because I'm going to do my research, and I'm not going to deal with your attorney that's working for your company. I'm going to have my own attorney who has my best interest.
Your own independent attorney.
That's right. That's right. So I learned that, but you learned that with experience. Through life. You learn that with experience, and then having good people around you too that can tell you this and tell you that. But at the same time, you're paying attention to see how they moving, because my circle is small. I don't have any and everybody in my circle. Yeah. And everything ain't for everybody's ears and eyes either. So when you're doing something, go ahead and do it, because you know how society is. You say you're doing this and doing that, and you don't do it. Then I thought you was doing this. I thought you was going to do that. So my thing is this here. Let me go ahead and do it, and they'll see what I've done.
Absolutely.
That's how I get down.
All right.
Present the proof.
Absolutely.
So I think I got all of my questions out. Swiss, do you have anything else to close us out with?
Nah, that was it. That was ending message right there. Basically, get the job done. Don't never let them give up. Shoot for the stars. I got all that.
Make your yeses, they count. Don't just give them out so freely, because in this life, you know, I tell my sons all the time, and like you said, T, if you can't do something, let someone know. Don't just be willy-nilly out here saying yes to everyone, because people are going to expect that from you. And the minute you say no, then it's going to be a problem. But
that dark cloud will haunt you. You know, your yeses have to mean yes, and your no's gotta mean no. You know,
and it's okay to think on it. You don't have to immediately give somebody an answer or quick, I'm gonna do it. And then now, like, you sitting there a week later, you done forgot oh man, I said I was gonna do that for you. So yeah, make your yeses, and your no's, make them all count.
Yeah, always think about the repercussions. You know, because,
Every word holds value.
Because you got to deal with this, and don't let foolish pride get
Every
in the way.
word holds value.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, this was Cultural Currency. We know that in this economy, especially with what's going on out here right now, time is money. So we definitely thank you for investing with us. Brother T, it's been real.
Appreciate you. All right. Appreciate you. Peace out.